name is Jesse Michael Hunter, and I live in a neighborhood called Bowness in Calgary, Alberta. It's a little valley filled with the Bow River that cuts through it. Really close to the university, close to a lot of good bushes, a lot of good berries. Two girls who live here, three of them actually, are from Grand Prairie, but two are going up to see their families. And so I took the journey with them, and the one girl, Megan, her father is hilarious and very witty, and he writes a blog that people tune into about all kinds of social phenomena. And he decided that it was quite interesting that I like to eat from garbages. He found this just fascinating, which I found fascinating. And so he wanted to make a movie about it, and he wrote a blog post. Actually, the way it started was 2 summers ago. I decided to try and live on the street for a few weeks here in Calgary, simply because I wanted to understand a little bit more of what it's like to have to live homeless in the city, because I was feeling very drawn towards those people and their stories. So during those 2 weeks, I tried to do what these people were doing, trying to have the same activity. So I was looking for cans and garbages throughout the city. And it was in that time, I think, when I started realizing, as I was looking for cans, that there's food everywhere. On one of my runs, I discovered behind a Walmart this incredible store of produce that they had thrown out, fruits and vegetables that were really fresh. You know, they'd have one little mark on them, or else the bananas were starting to go brown or what have you. But that was during that time that I discovered, whoa, there's a lot of food to be had, and then started experiencing going through garbages and getting used to the experience. This is my friend Kelly here, and I want him to share a bit about the food that he sees wasted here at the university. How often do you change the garbages in the main court?
We change them continuously from 10 to 6 o'clock.
A particular garbage bin, how many times do you think it might get emptied in one day, changed over?
Say once an hour.
Once an hour.
Once an hour.
Which I find amazing, because that means that all the stuff that I'm able to wrangle up in 45 minutes, that's all just from 1 hour's worth of action, right? So that's being changed over 6, 7, 8 times a day. "45 minutes, and we found a pretty wide array of things. We have a pretty decent little quantity of rice, I'd say. It's a mixture, some of it's brown rice, white rice, fried rice, jasmine. A few noodles sort of got mixed in there by accident. I don't know, maybe 3 days worth of rice, at least. All of it quite delicious. I think one of the most staggering things that I find really interesting is the sheer quantity. I think that people don't quite realize how much is thrown out. Followed that by our second carb option, which is mainly noodles, mixed in with some French fries from Wendy's, and the tail end of a chicken and lettuce wrap. It's close to a third of all food that is produced in the world is thrown in the garbage before it touches anybody's lips. And this research is something that I've done a little bit in books, but also just in firsthand, just in walking around and actually researching garbages. You know, what I find in garbages is so much food. And then things get interesting. This is the specialty collection. Has everything from some sauteed beef to an untouched Tim Hortons dinner roll, complete with a small package of butter, 4 or 5 pieces of sushi down there, sort of buried, staying safe, staying warm. And for dessert, we got half a cinnamon bun. So that's 45 minutes. And like, you have to know where you're going, I suppose, you know? Like, if you showed up behind maybe a random Chinese food store, like, it's doubtful that you're gonna find really like good food, you know, because a lot of it's already been cooked. But if you go behind, say, like Starbucks, for example, most Starbucks across the continent, you're very likely to find some really good food, like breakfast sandwiches and yeah, all kinds of pastries and such. So they're all packaged. They're completely sanitary. They're sealed in 100%. Our relationship with food is in a very poor state, I'd say. We don't relate to our food very well, and we're paying for it, and we're gonna be paying for it more and more, and our kids are gonna be paying for it even worse, and our children's children times 10. Because it's wasteful, and we don't have an unlimited supply of things. To me, it's just like, it's senseless, and it's unreasonable. It's sad, and I think that we're really missing out. I was in El Salvador, and we were on this village, and we were breaking open these fruits, the inside of these fruits, to get these nuts out, and it was a process. You know, you had to use a hammer, and you had to hammer the spine and just crack it open just enough to get this nut out. And we did this for 4 hours, and we collected, you know, perhaps a little bowl full of these nuts. And then I realized that they were almonds, the almendra tree. And my respect for almonds, my understanding when I eat an almond has changed because of that, you know. And I think if we could see where all our food was coming from, our sense of wonder and our sense of appreciation as we eat would greatly increase. I think that would make us happier people.
But you can't change the world with a gun. You can't change the world without love. You can hold it back for a little while. Soon the dam will break. What